experienced in your practice, I would imagine, this is actually a silly question, people who come in that just don't know they have trauma.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, like a classic example would be like when I teach that whole process about wounded child, adaptive child, and functional adult, and I talk about the wounded child holds the trauma biography, whether it's been abuse, I get pushback. I wasn't abused. Well, they hit kids in my culture.
I went to Catholic school. I know.
They hit kids in my culture, And then I went to Catholic school too, where I witnessed the physical abuse by nuns, agents of God.
Yeah.
It normalizes it.
Yeah.
But while that's going on, we're learning stuff about ourselves. I must be bad. I must not be worthy. Agent of God is hitting me. I must be a sinner. All that heavy shit when you're little like that. That's still, we don't wash it off.
Right.
And so it shows up in our day-to-day life.
That's an interesting point about it being normalized. Whether it's, abuse in the family or in school or whatever, it's just, if you don't know any better at that age, I would imagine you just think that's the way things are and you don't pay attention to the effect it's had on you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, all my friends' kids were hit. We belonged to this beach club in the summer in the Bronx. And it was like you look to the right, look to the left. Kids are getting smacked right. Normal, crying, normal.
Yeah.
And so, how do I avoid that trauma? I'll be cute. I'll be funny.
Mm.
What do you need, Mom? You want me to make the sandwiches for the lunch today? I'll do that. Certainly, if I do something for you, I won't get hit.
Right.
And that grows up to, hey, boss, what do you need? What do you need? Like if you are raised or grow up feeling like you have to bear the unbearable, like this is where burnout comes from. There's a lot of trending what's now with coaches and entrepreneurs is burnout. Are you suffering from burnout?
Right.
And what I've seen offered is symptom management, self-care, turn off the notifications on your phone. Burnout is a trauma response. I work with women who have done programs like that, and they come to me because they're still burnt out. Their notifications have been turned off for a year, and they're still burnt out. They're still overworking. They're still overdoing. They're still overmothering, And when they get to the core of where they learned that adaptation, that it was up to them to handle it all,
mm-hmm.
It gets neutral, and they have more agency in their life and more agency over how the hours of their day is spent.
What kind of trauma, in your experience, causes that need to overwork, that need to always stay busy?
Yeah.
Or is there just not one?
There's not one.
Yeah.
There's not one. It's like what I did with the trauma in my family was very different than what my sister did with the trauma in our family. I used to joke with her and say, you and I had different mothers.
Right.
But it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like I've treated everything, but what I'm treating is trauma and how you adapted to it. Right. It's like whether it's OCD, whether it's social anxiety, whether it's overworking, whether it's financial instability, I get to the heart of how you adapted to trauma. And we could be in the presence of the same exact trauma, but our adaptation and reaction to it lives in us in different ways. So that's what I'm dealing with.
Right.
Yeah, but that's like an AMA model, You can't sleep, you take this pill. Nobody says what's going on in your life,
right.
You have Parkinson's, this is what you take. You have COPD, this is what you take. let me get the symptoms correct and I have the right drug for you. I don't have the right drug.
Right.
Only a listening for maybe it's time you looked at. There was a decision you made when you were 9 or 10, and you're 45 now and you're still living with that and you don't know any better. And you shouldn't know any better. It was a brilliant choice at the time.
Right. Is there anything else you want to say about trauma legacy? Is it that we haven't covered?
I guess, like your question is, can you have trauma and not know it? Trauma can be elusive. It can be deceptive. You can live for years and not know that you have it. I had no idea how I was impacted by losing my leg and being raised in an alcoholic home, I had no idea until I was in the presence of love. And Hugh and I both had this understanding that love brings up anything that's in the way of love, that's not love, to be healed.
Yeah.
So what showed up my first year of marriage?
All your trauma.
Welcome to the party for happy first year of marriage,
Yeah, because it was a safe place for
it. Was a safe place.
Yeah. And
that's what is if there's no safe place, you learn to shut down and keep it to yourself.
Right.
So I'm very conscious of there's no benefit in doing anything ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So I don't rush anybody into something in their first session. We take whatever time you need for something to be unpacked.
Right.
Like somebody will call and say, well, how many sessions does it take? Well, I have no idea.
Right. Right.
It's not like a cold takes 2 weeks to heal,
Yeah. That's great.
Good. I'm enjoying this with you, because it's like, I've known you for years, but it's similar to when I teach a class. I don't know what I know until I'm in front of people, and it's what they pull out of me. So
Yes.
You have a very safe listening, and so I love what you're pulling out of me.
I love it too.